Hey, Rob again with Cannabis Consulting Nationwide, CCN. Today we're going to be talking about location. If you're qualifying yourself for the lottery, you're trying to get yourself eligible for a license in your respective state, county, city. So you're going to be restricted more than likely in your respective towns. In my particular case, my little town of Ellensburg, Washington, right in the geographical center of Washington State, they pretty much just kind of took the Washington State laws and said, you know, that's good enough for us here in our county and in our city. But there are going to be a lot of rules, restrictions about locations. Now that's obvious. What's maybe not so obvious is when you start calling places that are for lease or for rent, you need to be able to tell them. They're going to ask naturally enough, why are you inquiring? What would you do in my space, in my strip mall space, or in my house, or in my building? My advice to you, be honest, tell them exactly what you're doing. I'm trying to gain a retail cannabis license. You're gonna get some hang-ups, you're gonna get some not here. Again, in Washington State, now we've been at this now for a little over 4 years, so it's not so new, right? But in your town, in your state, chances are it's very new. And you may run into some real reactions from would-be real estate agents. They may be blocking you from a landlord, an owner. You may get some reactions. In my particular case, I had a location in a little strip mall. The guy says, you know, I wouldn't mind renting to you, but I think I would alienate 2 of my other 5 tenants currently. So I can't gain 1 and lose 2. Doesn't make mathematical sense. You're going to run into situations like that, and you're just going to have to kind of keep plodding and keep going through it. What I tried to do, my wife and I, when we were talking to these potential landlords, is we said, listen, our concerns are your concerns. We're going to run this the right way. Didn't always work. Eventually, obviously, it did work. I found somebody who was willing to take a chance. He was intrigued with it. He was a bit of a rebel, frankly, but it worked out well for us, and we were able to kind of work through there. Now, once you have a location, there's a lot of things to consider. We'll have another video on layout, design, etc., but the location, getting a location, signing a lease agreement, a rental agreement, or a mortgage of some sort is probably going to be part of your package to present to your regulators in order to get your license. That may be a little bit involved in and of itself. And again, I've been there. I've been on the phone with potential spots at 10:30 in the evening asking people, okay, can I do this? Will you rent to me? And being told no and being hung up on. I probably had at least 38 rejections before I found something in my little small town. So again, I've been there. This is an interesting industry you're considering getting into. You're going to see some interesting reactions, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes the reactions are going to come from when you're looking for locations and you're talking to potential landlords or mortgage holders, whatever the case may be. Been there, I can help you with that. It's a little bit of a grueling process. It's worth it. We can work through it. You know, quite obviously a location is absolutely critical. You have to have a place for your retail store. So if you take Washington State rules, 1,000-foot radius, 2,000 feet diameter away from hospital, school, library, city park, daycare, etc., you start dropping 2,000 diameter circles in a relatively small town. In my particular case, by the time I filtered through all the, and you can do this with Google Maps, you can do this yourself. You can draw the 1,000-foot barrier out there and you can find if there are locations that are going to be compliant from a location standpoint with the state. Then the next thing is you got to contact the landlord, you got to contact the mortgage holder, whatever the case may be, and tell them, hey, would you do this for me because I want to open up a cannabis store? You might get a lot of rejection from that standpoint. Again, in your town, in your county, in your state, this is probably brand new. And so it's going to be somewhat controversial. You may run into some rejections. I was rejected at least 38 times before I found my first location for a variety of reasons. And then I had to find another location because I was 210 square feet, I outgrew it. I had to go through this process twice. It's a matter of just plodding through the rules and whatnot, understanding people's reactions, anticipating reactions. Again, we have ego reactions when we're surprised by something. I can make sure that you're not surprised by anything. So location is critical. Location's not easy. You may run into some roadblocks, some impediments that you would not expect because of the nature of this industry. I've been there, I can help you through this. We can find a location that's going to be great, that's going to be compliant, and you're going to be able to satisfy and be a good neighbor and a good tenant for your landlord or whatever the case may be. I've done that. We focused on that a lot in our town, in our location. I think I've become a good neighbor. I can show you how to work through people's objections. When it comes to the industry and overall. And right now, of course, we're talking specifically about location. Again, this is Rob with CCN. I've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed it. You've got something out of it. Reach out and contact me. I can help you through this process. Again, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.